Hey guys, what's up? It's coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with and today is Friday. I guess this week went by fairly fast because I haven't really been thinking about it too much. But then again, not much is really going on in my head, so it's not like there's a mania or anything like that. There's not really anything too crazy going on. Just a usual battle between, I don't know, just tempted to buy the new phone. I talked about that. I don't know. It's still something I want to do, but what I'm going to do is wait and like feel it in the store and all that to just see what it's like. That's kind of that's what I'm going to do. That's what the plan is. Like I'll go to the Apple store to buy the new AirPods and then also feel what the new phone is like, look at it, see it, and then make my decision. So, yeah. The person behind me is they were speeding, and so they're not happy. They're probably not happy that I am here doing my thing right now. Probably not. So, I don't really know what else to comment on. I guess I have to try to just not be as hard on myself. I think you see, I know I've said this a million times, but this perspective, with the way the economy is, with it's too much pressure, but none of that is inherently my own fault. Like if I was growing up in a different time period, I wouldn't have that pressure. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Right. Now, there's certain goals and things that I have in mind. I obviously would like to work 2 jobs for at least a period of time. I mean, I don't know that I see myself doing that for the rest of my life, but working 2 jobs. I think the scary thing, though, is what happens when the economy just continues to get worse and worse, and then 2 jobs isn't even enough. Because something is wrong, because even now, the norm is really like 30-something hours. I didn't even know that. In my head, I thought 40 hours was the norm, but I don't even think most people are getting 40-hour jobs. I think a lot of people get 30-something hours. And I don't know. I think that's honestly fine. Like, that's kind of a good amount of hours in terms of, like, a regular person working. I know I have a bit more stamina to work more, like, but I'm not really just like a regular person. I'm more of an exception. So it's different. I don't really think like a lot of people, and I think that's in a way it's a good thing, but it's also just it's not enough in this day and age to make ends meet. And it's just kind of a shame. I don't really know how else to describe it. It's just a shame. But yeah, what happens when so again, like in that sense, there is sort of an imperative for me to get a second job. It's just, it's difficult to do that, or it seems like it would be difficult to me, and there are people who do, so I guess it's possible, but I don't really know. You know what I mean? I just don't know. But it's what I would want. Like, because I already explained before, money is the only thing that really gives me any kind of joy. It just is. I mean, I don't know. Like not buying something is... That's like the only thing that really feels good. Like other stuff, it's just not... I know that's my consumer brain rot symptom, but still, and I think I was talking about this on a recent episode. I guess that's really something I should work on and pay attention to. Like, I guess so. Because, I mean, even now it's affecting me. Because I don't need that new phone. My current phone is great, and technically my current phone is probably great for multiple years. I don't know. It's just such a good phone, and yet I still just can't. I just need to buy this new one. So I'm dealing with a lot of consumerism, brain rot, and it's affected me to the point where, you know, regular activities are not enjoyable anymore. But hey, at the same time, this is the reason why I finally started working. Because, like, we always have to rewind a million times and dial it back into... I wasn't working and I didn't want to work. Or, I mean, I theorized that I didn't think I wanted to work, but looking back, I would have been a lot happier working. I just thought that it was going to make my anxiety worse, so I didn't. And maybe back then it would have. Like, maybe I needed time to just go through that time. And again, I mean, I have thoughts of inadequacy, and, like, you know, obviously some people were better than me because other people had jobs. But then again, I don't think it's that crazy that I didn't have a job. Like, I think a lot of people go through high school and don't have a job. I mean, you know, it's not that crazy. Like, a lot of people did, but there were still, I think, a good amount of people. I'll try to look up statistics about that. I mean, I guess it just seemed like a lot of people were working, but at the same time, a lot of people weren't. So I don't know. I wish I was. I always say that, I wish I was, but maybe I just wasn't mentally there. Like, is that something I have to come to terms with? Like, I was just too weak at the time. Like, even now, you know, my brain is not an easy thing to deal with. Although, there are people who have it way harder. So, again, I mean, really, what's my excuse? It's all just nonsense. I don't know. But I guess I feel like that's the justification for it. That makes me feel like it makes sense. And I think that does make sense. I think what I'm saying is making sense. But I just don't want it to just be cope that's incorrect or anything like that. Which it could be, but this is just what goes through my head. I mean, at the end of the day, like everybody else, I am who I am, and of course you might want to be better. Everybody wants to be better, but we kind of just fall where we fall, you know, and it is what it is. I can't do too much about that, you know. I can try to improve moving forward. I can try to improve, but in terms of the past, I mean, I can't really change that. So it's just, I don't know. It is what it is, right? I can't change a lot of this stuff. And this guy behind me, I don't know why he took the whatever. It's just like people drive too fast. They're not being nice at all. Anyways, yeah, it just threw me off. It always does that. I have to learn to just not react, because I think a lot of people just don't react to things. But at the same time, I mean, I don't want to be like numb. I think I've had this conversation so many times. It's like a balance between not reacting, but I don't want to just be a zombie, you know, because if anything, it's more special to react just in maybe a civilized way, or a way that doesn't really upset me too deeply, or something like that, you know. That's kind of, I think, the idea, at least. That's the idea. But here we are. It's another Friday. Just another Friday. What else is there? I'm not entirely sure. Whoa. He made it seem like he was not going this way. I don't know what. People in trucks, they're just a little bit crazy. But yeah, like, I don't know. It just seems, I mean, it's good because there's a need for me to push more than I push. But, like, it's good to have that. But at the same time, I mean, anybody is who they are, right? It's just a shame. It's a shame that I guess this is a reflection on my mentality about it. Do we think that there should be people in higher positions giving opportunity? Or do we agree more with the old-fashioned mindset of, oh, you do everything yourself. That's all you choose to do it. It's yourself. Because I always felt like, you know, I would have gotten a job sooner if it was really offered to me. But if it was like, you know, a person I actually knew somehow or something like that, things just seem so nonsensical and crazy. And that was like the whole problem, you know? Is that even now, like, I want to work 2 jobs, but I would if somebody offered it to me and said, okay, here's how it's going to be organized, we'll work with your current schedule, then I would do it. But I don't know. It just doesn't happen. Like it's almost like people don't want you to work more, but then they do. You right? Because it's like it's apparently an expectation, but it's not how the things are not designed for. I've already explained this. Like things are aggressively designed to limit you to the 30-something hours. It's a heartache to get 2 jobs and to have to, like, I just don't understand, you know? I've talked about this already, but it is kind of crazy. I don't... And it's sad that the politicians or business people just aren't fazed by it. I don't know. I guess people get used to a certain lifestyle, and the people in power don't want to take any cuts. It's just crazy how a lot of people live very bloated and ignorant, and I don't know. It's a lot of again, there's so many things that people don't see as a luxury that is. I've already talked about my fruit thing before, how, you know, you really shouldn't be eating fruit. You know, it's a luxury. It's not something that's necessary. And every time I say that, people think I'm nuts. Like, people think I'm nuts. But I think in the future, what I'm saying will be more like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, why would we eat fruit? Well, of course in the good timeline. But even in the bad timeline, I could easily see them start to restrict. Like, they could say, oh, well, since the economy is kind of bad right now, we're going to restrict. Like, that is what would happen. Although, sadly, I think they might cut out the meat first. Even though that's the most essential food. Kind of worried they would do that. They would say, oh, well, since, you know, times are tough, we're going to focus on bread probably, right? But that's not even... It's a shame. Who knows what would happen, but... I would probably need to stop doing certain foods or try to think about more efficient ways to do things eventually. I think they're going to have to, even if it's not helping, they're going to have to. But yeah, I'm really in favor of a lot of things. The old person tax, I've talked about that before, my old person tax idea. That actually makes like too much sense. Sorry, it just bothers me when people don't get a grip. Because the old person tax, old people don't contribute as much to society. So, and then, well, it's also specifically because of the population. Like, it would genuinely be fair for anybody who doesn't have kids to basically have to pay a fee. I've talked about it before. It's completely fair. It's just totally normal. And the fact that that isn't the case, it actually has things in an unbalanced state. Because it's not fair. Like, you can just choose to be selfish, and there's zero repercussion for that. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. But it's crazy because, again, I'm sure if I said this to most people, they would just think it's crazy. But that's the actual truth as to what would be fair. You know, and it would probably be based on age brackets. So, like, maybe people who are 60-something years old would pay the highest percent. And then 50-year-old would be a little lower, 40-year-old a little lower. And then, you know, probably once you got to 30, especially 20, it would be nothing. But yeah, I mean, that would be a fair system, but it's not a fair system. Isn't that crazy? Like, this is the thing. I mean, I don't think about this. Like, I'm not trying to think about it. I just notice it, and then I can't help it. This is just what comes to my mind. So how do you know, like, most people don't understand that. I think a lot of people don't understand the way things work and how things are, so they look at me and, oh, why is he so grouchy all the time? Well, again, it's because I think of these things, and it's kind of difficult to not think them. Like, it just comes to me, and then I realize, oh yeah, like, there should be an old person tax. Most people would never think that. They would think that's horrible, but like I said, it makes total sense, because it's harder to be young because your costs to live are higher. I guess, though, you have to pay more health insurance when you're older, obviously, because there's a much higher risk of something going wrong. So that is, like, irrelevant. Yeah, so I guess, but again, everybody who's older has more income automatically, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You know, I don't know. But yeah, I get so obsessive about technology, and imagine if I didn't, you know, like, if I was just free. Like, I'm not mentally free. That's the problem. I, like, have to have the tech, and it's why I have to buy the new tech, and it's just this cycle, this vicious cycle. It's terrible. Really terrible. But I could be free. I'm just still caught in the consumerist slave death cycle, like a lot of other people. I mean, I've still said it before. If I had to assume, I'm probably still wiser financially, because, like I said, I don't do anything, and I buy the cheapest food possible, you know, which is something like nobody does. So it's just, I just don't know. Try to drive my car carefully, minimize using it when I can. I mean, these are all things that nobody else does. So it's particularly noteworthy that I do them, but the tech cost is pretty high that I have, so, and someday potentially car cost. I mean, I don't know. My car, I really do want a nice car, but like I said, I have kind of specific guidelines for one that really should make it not that expensive. I know I've explained them before, but it's just something I'm happy to explain again, so I will. I really want like a slow, weak engine. I don't know. And a lot of times nicer cars, that's kind of a trademark feature, is they have extra horsepower usually. But I don't want that at all. I mean, I would be just totally fine with like the weakest engine possible. I just totally don't need a fast engine. So the tech, right? I don't want any of that stuff, and it costs a lot extra to have all the sensors and all the tech in the car. It's very expensive. It's very expensive to have all that stuff. So just something to point out. Like, I definitely could get away with a much cheaper car than most people. It's just that it doesn't pan out that way. Like, because there's not, what I want is not on the market, you know? Because a lot of times that is the bulk cost. The bulk cost is just... the bulk cost ends up just being I just really wonder the type of people that get anything out of being in a huge truck and just passing someone on the highway. I'm not talking about like a trailer, just like a regular truck, car, and just like passing someone and cutting it real close for no reason. I just Anyways, I have no idea what I was talking. Like, I just couldn't get over what just happened. It was like two of them back to back. Like, it just, oh yeah, my car, yeah. So my car should not, because most of the car cost is like all that kind of stuff, like having a bigger, stronger engine, needing to build the car to be like structurally sound, even at like, I'm assuming 100 miles per hour, which I wouldn't even need any of that stuff. So I'm sure I could have like a nice car that's just a lot cheaper than what they're offering now, because I could strip out all the screens, all the tech, all the sensors, and give it like a way underpowered engine, probably smaller, thinner wheels, smaller, thinner tires. And yeah, I mean, it just wouldn't be that expensive. So it is interesting to think about, though, how cars have not followed suit like technology is. I mean, they have, actually. Because I'm assuming if you looked at... You know what? Honestly, maybe they have not. Maybe they have not. What I was going to say is technology has genuinely just kind of got better and better over time. It just has. Like, obviously the computers now, like, you can get for really cheap are just so much better than they were before, and it's great. And tech has improved a lot, but that seems like the only thing. It seems like everything else just has gotten more expensive. And cars especially, what I'm pointing out and what I think is noteworthy is cars have not just got cheaper and cheaper as technology has. In a way, I think they have, because technically you're getting better fuel economy and... yeah, you're getting better fuel economy, you're getting better horsepower per dollar respectively, maybe, but I actually don't even know if that's true, because I don't know. I mean, I know fuel efficiency's gotten a lot better, but a lot of it's like shenanigans. It's not actual fuel being better. They do, cylinder deactivation and all these like fancy tricks to get the fuel economy lower, which is, it's questionable what that does for the longevity of the car. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about that. It's just, they're like cheating to get the mile per gallon. Now, I think there are genuine efficiency improvements, but it's honestly not that impressive if you strip away all the extras like that. The start-stop, the cylinder deactivation. I mean, if you cut all that out, I don't think the mile per gallon difference is really that crazy. I mean, it is, but it's not super crazy. And if you also time the transmissions to be the same as they were before, because before they probably ran transmissions at a higher RPM than they do now. So but a lot of these things, and again, this is the problem, is they become systemically limited because most people don't think about them. Like, if every person in society thought like me, then things would be like, they would just be better. They would. Things would just be better, and that's just true. Like, I don't know, there would be change, but it all comes down to what people are thinking about. And again, what government even is, what government's able to do. Obviously, government gets hijacked, so they can't even put in good rules. A lot of time they put in bad rules. But it's still, if people just thought straight, again, if everybody in America thought like me, oh my goodness. So I just have to keep reminding myself of that, like just how far ahead I am, and even if the money's not matching it, like it's true. I mean, everything I'm talking about, it is important, and even though I don't get recognition for it, it's good, true things. Like, there's no reason for me to be that upset. I'm just upset that the money's not matching that. And I've explained this before, because I think I should be able to live comfortably, but I can't, and I hate the system. So, and that's really why I shouldn't reward the system. Like, I shouldn't buy the new iPhone because of that, because it's in a conflict with my soul self. But the problem is, I just still need that, like, joy. Like, I'm not free. I'm not free, and I still need that joy. And I just like that orange. It reminds me of pumpkins and Halloween, and how I got the black 16 Pro Max and how that matches up and all that. Why do I do it, though? Like, I could be strong if I wasn't addicted to tech. I could be strong. So serious. I could be so strong. Oh, my light luck was perfect, but... nope, it's perfect. We actually might break a record today. I don't know how much I went into it, but my, yeah, I actually think we will break the record today. What was I going to say? I was going to say you're on what? I was really, like, early on it. Well, not, like, early, but I was on it getting out this morning, so it worked out pretty well, time-wise. Okay, well, maybe we won't break a record. No, I actually don't think we will. I think it's going to be pretty tight if we break the record or not. I think it's going to be really tight. Last time I said that, I was like dead wrong, though. I kind of think I don't think we're going to break the record. Because it's already, it's like now, and by the time I actually get there, it's going to be fairly close, though, either way. I don't think it's going to be too crazy, but I have a hard time thinking I'm going to make it. That's a shame. I might be like 15 seconds off or something like that. Not even, so it's a shame, but I think that's just how it goes. Yep, I don't think we're going to break any records today. Whoa, we're being way off. Crazy. Well, yeah, that's really close, actually. Yeah, I literally just lost it. I just lost the record, so doesn't that kind of stink? No, actually, I was pretty, because then it took a while to, like, load, but it would have been, like, a just lost, but the phone took kind of a long time to connect for some reason. That was, like, record time in mile per gallon getting here, though. It seemed like the traffic was a bit heavier on the road, so when that happens, I've explained, like, I end up pushing it a little bit more than I normally would. I don't know. Because, again, like, when there's a bunch of cars behind you, you drive a little faster than if there wasn't, so there is that. Yeah, what else is new, though? I don't know. Well, it's just another day, isn't it? Isn't that all it ever is? But yeah, it is crazy, because somebody like me should not... Something is just wrong. I should have went to college. I should be doing great things, but I'm just not. Somehow I just completely slipped through the cracks. Isn't that crazy? You go to public school and just nobody ever notices you, or that you're like coming up with all these like good solutions for things, and you know, the silly people with, yeah, it's just because the whole point is, I know I'm not that smart. I know that I can't do extra special science or extra special math. But the things I talk about are like the most pertinent of issues. They're like the things that are most relevant. You know, it's just systemic bread and butter problems. It's not, I'm not solving science here. I'm not curing cancer, but you know, it's not like it's dumb. And I think that's kind of what gets me, is that like these are the things that should be more flashy, but they're not. Anyways, it's been schla, but now it's time to buy schla. So, see you schla.